Hey everybody, I'm super friggin' exhausted from writing a musical in 2 weeks, but because I want you to have some special features, I'm gonna send you the videos that I sent to Anonymous 4 as I was starting to put the musical together. I realized that none of the other guests have gotten any, or donors have gotten any updates on stuff while I was making it. So as I started showing Anonymous 4 all these songs, I suddenly realized, wait, I didn't do this for anybody else, so I kind of stopped doing it. And then towards the end, I was just running and gunning, going. So I realized I didn't really have much to show you for special features, but please accept these weird, hastily filmed videos of me talking like an enthusiastic person before realizing that this whole thing was going to be a shambles and I would just barely get it done on time. Enjoy! Okay, so here's where I'm at. This is just going to be piano and filler lyrics for now, but so I'm thinking like a pretty chorus, but like a frantic, hectic verses in between to symbolize like the stress of trying to fix up the house, but then also the joy of this is my house. So here we go. I bought a house and now it's mine, a cozy space to spend my time. I bought a house and now it's mine, but is my house a home? So that's the chorusy part, but then for the frantic, like I'm putting paint here and I'm doing stuff here, it's going to be the same chords, but arpeggiated to give it like more action, more doodle-doodle-doo. So that'll be like the fast pace, like I'm painting this and I'm stripping that and I'm doodly-doodle and doodly-doo. I haven't written any of that yet, but that's the vibe I've got right now. Let me know what you think. All right, I know I'm about to sound like a lunatic, but just to get an idea for the patter, because I don't have any lyrics written yet. I'm just digging now, I'm fucking this up, and now I'm putting over thing, and then a thing over here, and now I'm painting, and I'm fixing, and I'm stripping, and I'm scraping, and I'm still not finding out. Now you're getting the idea, it's gonna be really fast, it's gonna be all kinds of stuff you need to fix up at your house. Anyway, you get the idea there, and then it'll eventually get to like, just gotta stick with it. I bought a house and now it's mine. You get the idea. Anyway, that's gonna be a lot of lyrics writing. These red bits are like, oh my god, I need to say 1,000 things. And wouldn't you know it, I've never owned or had to fix up a house. I am struggling on Mrs. Sponge's introduction song. It's kind of tough because she's a side character in her own song. Like, I feel like she can't just come out going, I'm Mrs. Sponge and I'm here to say. It's got to be more like just weird stuff you hear over the fence, but it is going to be in her voice. I haven't really figured out the tune for that one yet, but I have this for your first I Want song, the dark I Want song, which is I want Mrs. Sponge to shut the fuck up. But here's what I've got. Mrs. Sponge. Oh, damn it. Every time I go to record these, I forget the temp lyrics I came up with. Mrs. Sponge, do me just one favor. Mrs. Sponge, be a decent neighbor. That's all I have right now. But I just really like the melody of what I've got here. It was really hard to find like both angry but hopeful, but I really feel like these chords kind of nailed it. I also feel like it fits with your character because your opening song is more like anxious, whereas this is like furthering that anxiety. And then like I'm hoping that your confrontation song will just be like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, or however it ends up. But yeah, that's what I got so far for song 3. Okay, so this is the Decent Neighbor song. And so as I'm always tempted to do like a fast up tempo thing, but I feel like we should have something slow. So I've kind of made the I Want into a lament. So this is going to be after you hear your loud neighbor. And I feel like you need to be the one to name her Mrs. Sponge. So she's not going to be called Mrs. Sponge in her song, but this is going to be your lament. Like this is you in the middle of raking your leaves and then suddenly hearing all this commotion and you're just devastated because you thought this was the best place. So it's going to be slow, you're heartbroken. What have I gotten into? Oh my god. I'm living here forever. I don't have lyrics written for this yet, but you know the deal. So then what happens is it's going to go from sad to upset. So like it's gonna be those slow keys, and then suddenly you're gonna be like, but I don't have to take this from you, Mrs. Sponge. Do me just one favor, Mrs. Sponge. Be a decent neighbor. All I want is to call this place my... Hold on. Did she say something about blunts? That's not going to be the actual thing, but basically my plan is it always builds up to you saying home, but you never quite do. And I'm going to run out of time here, but I'll tell you the rest. So at the end, it's going to be one of those tempo ramps. And again, these are all temp words. It's just kind of like ideas in my head. But so it's going to be the same thing. Mrs. Sponge, do me just one favor, Mrs. Sponge. Be a decent neighbor. All I want is to call this place my personal space of something. Fuck you home. Except it'll be good words and not me just farting. I had a really good thing to put there and then I blanked on it. What was it? All I want is to call this... Oh, is to find a way that I can call this something street my home. Anyway, I'll write it later. This is the songwriting process. This is how it goes. You just kind of got to get a general mood and run from there. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I like those songs that make you earn the last word. And by the way, all these songs are coming up shorter than what I intended. Most of them are like in the 2 to 3 minute range. I hope that's okay. I really want to go for quality over quantity. But yeah, we might need a 6th song, or we might need a tap dance or something. So I kind of know my musicals, not as well as like actual musical people, but you know, Disney and Busby Berkeley and all that. Anyway, this is outside of my wheelhouse. This is outside of my comfort zone. I think I'm doing okay so far. But just wanted you to know, like, if we were going to do a more contemporary sounding song, I would probably set it up like a rap battle. I think that is what I want the conflict song to be, especially because I think it'll surprise the listeners. We'll have like 3 standard stage pieces and then suddenly hard ass beat, and it's you and Mrs. Sponge. Feel free to be like, I don't know, maybe that doesn't fit here, but like in terms of like what I know I can do and what I can write, like that could really bring the house down, so to speak. But feel free to be like, no, let's try to keep it traditional the whole way through. I'm just saying my wheelhouse is more like big beats and like syncopated rap lyrics, so I might do like just one of those as maybe a little present to myself. But if you're like, no, that might wreck the flow, I totally understand, but that's kind of the mood I'm going for right now. And then I feel like the big victory ending will still be like, you know, a big sweeping thing. Also, this is all just piano right now, but I'm gonna put like multiple layers of instruments. Definitely drums and bass, if nothing else. But I could go full orchestra. It really comes down to how much time I have on this thing. It's gonna be more that like, oh gee, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh gosh, I just want to fit in this town. Like, I'm gonna be doing that like exaggerated over the top. So I love the idea of you at the end just being like, that's it, that's the solution. Nobody likes their neighbors. Let's just keep on hating each other and get baked as fuck. Like, I love that being like the message of the whole musical. So I'm sorry that with temp lyrics, it's going to be mainly me making weird gremlin noises. But okay, we've got Mrs. Sponge's song. And again, the fact that this is something overheard, but from her perspective, was a real big struggle for me, but I finally figured it out. So the slower, more down-tempo lament is her inner monologue. And then the ragtime part is what you hear over the fence. So this is her being all woe is me. I've made a mess. I have no sponge. I probably won't actually mention the sponge at that part, but then it picks up. And basically she has the inspiration to yell at her kids to do it. bring me my sponge and bring it right now. And I don't have any lyrics, but I know how they'll sound because they've got a big up-tempo thing right now. I don't know what to do. I don't give a fuck. Just bring me my sponge. Get that sponge and bring it right now, or I'll beat you with a fucking cow. These are all temp lyrics. Anyway, that's where I'm at with that one. Also, this one's gonna have a solo because you can't do ragtime without a solo. But yeah, all right, cool. All right, I decided to go for the rap battle first just because I was not really feeling a victory song. I feel like maybe going in order is actually the best thing. So yeah, it's some back and forth rap beats here. But I thought it would be kind of good to like sort of intro into it in a way that you couldn't quite tell it was going to be hip hop. So I just did some vocal stuff. You can probably hear the kick drums down there, but like, yeah, it's going to fade in while you two are arguing. And then all of a sudden, listen, you stupid piece of shit, I've had it with all the blah, 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 whatever. And I figured yours would still have some piano elements because, you know, you've been the traditional musical this whole time. And I don't know. I don't even know if I'm justifying this properly. Anyway, then it kicks over to Mrs. Sponge's Nasty Sick Beat, which is not very... I figured you both need to have advantages. Hers is not very musically complex, but it is just kind of like a trashy, stupid, get nasty on it beat. And then it gets another layer towards the end. I promise I'm working hard, but what's very exciting when you're into like weird acid house is that like you can't find tabs online as easily. You can learn how to play guitar or piano, but to learn how to play like a 303 synth thing, it's a little different. But basically what I'm saying is I figured out how to do like my favorite Fatboy Slim song, so pardon me while I be all giddy about it. Yeah, I had to program every one of the notes, and then you can play with the parameters. But yeah, believe it or not, this is actually me working hard. I just need to come up with my own original pattern here. But yeah, this is going to be the Weed Solves Everything song, which starts with you token up. You can't tell me I don't have the Astralworks sound. That's just me fucking around a little bit with some knobs. I said, Mama, do you remember watching your boyfriend pee on a corpse? And that's all the footage you get, because I didn't film any, because just too much. Too much. It was all too much. Too much writing and recording and just blah. Literally, as I'm filming this right now, this video needs to go up in like an hour. So, it really took it out of me. See you later. Hope you liked Mrs. Sponge the Musical. I missed the button.